Now it's time to find all of my Works Cited citations. Be sure they are formatted correctly using EasyBib and add them to my OutlineWorks Cited assignment. I'm over here in EasyBib and I'm going to click on the project that I created for this essay. Now I know it's a temptation to ask the question, but what about this? Should I add this to my citations? What about that? My answer is yes. Yes, you should add it to your citations. If there's any part of you that thinks, I wonder if I should add that. Yes. This does not necessarily need to be something that is cited in my essay, where I'm using quotes from the article or whatever resource I found. It is that I have given the reader an opportunity to see where I gathered all of my resources. Remember the rule of thumb. I was not born knowing anything. So everything needs to come from a source that provided me with definitive information or opinion from a legitimate source. I will make a claim. I will say Tom and Huck are the best of friends, but then I need to define what do I mean by friends. And then I need to show an example. And then if I show an example from one of the books, I need to show what page that came from or what chapter that came from, so that the reader can always check out my resources. When it comes to opinion, things like that, I want to rely on experts, valid sources, and I want to make sure that the reader sees where I gathered that information. Also, when you get to a university level, there is zero tolerance for plagiarism. I can't stress that word enough. Zero. I had a really wonderful friend who turned in an essay, and this friend's story was that the essay submitted was the rough draft, but that essay did not contain all of the cited sources, and it was a nightmare. And so, yes, the answer is yes. If you opened it, add it there. As I mentioned before in an earlier video, there's one right here I want to show you. Do you see this one? Parent and child. Let's just follow that URL. Do you see where this goes? It goes to the New York Times. It wants me to give them money. I'm not going to give them money. But I still did a Google search for articles about friendship, parents, children, and I saw that, and I opened this website, and I am going to cite it in my general works cited. On and on and on, and I have included every single article, book, everything that I opened, and it is all contained here. I'm ready to create my works cited. I'm going to export all. Now you have a choice. You can either export that using Word, which comes free with our Outlook account, or Google Docs. Either one is fine with me as long as it formats correctly, and Google Docs sometimes has a tendency to change the font, to change the layout, to change things up a little bit. Word generally formats correctly, but I'm going to show you what would happen if it didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Word. And once again, just in case you've come to this point in the semester and still have not discovered that on Outlook, we simply click this and there is Word. And we can use that free of charge. I click Export as Word, and as you can see, it's going to open here. I'm going to open it. And there it is. Now let's take a moment together and let's just look at this real quick. Everything is double spaced. Everything is in Times New Roman 12 font. There are no gaps between the citations. By gaps, I mean going to Layout. And these should all be set to 0. If it doesn't set to 0, you can see what it just did. It just added a big gap, didn't it? You see this? So I want to make sure all of that is set to 0 so that there are no gaps between citations. There should not be any repetition. I've done that many times where I've had the same thing on there twice. Okay, I'm going to make sure everything looks correct. And now I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go back over to my outline page. And I'm going to add this to the bottom of the outline page. As you recall, this is the document that I will be submitting when I add this to the bottom. So now I'm going to go ahead and paste the works cited. Let's say something goes klaflooey on this works cited, and when I paste it in there, it goes all messy like this. That means that somehow the spacing, instead of normal, it went to something weird. You see these different headings that would ruin the look of the works cited? You see that? So it should be normal. Now, if I come back over to normal and it's still all messed up, then I'm going to go back to the document that I uploaded right here. I'm going to copy it again. Come back over to my regular document that I'm getting ready to turn in. I'm going to take this one that's incorrect out, delete that, and this time I'm going to paste it in correctly. Okay, paste, and it's correct. And I'm going to check it one more time, and now I have completed my assignment. I'm ready to save this as a PDF and submit to the document. Let's see how we do that. We're going to do File, and we're going to save this as a PDF. So it's all saved, everything's great, except for one thing. That's right, I am famous for this. Let's go back to the document, Review, Word Count, and I'm only going to give myself credit for this once. And this is the one time I do get to get credit for the works cited. There we go. Now I'm going to save it again. So it's all corrected. I actually also changed the spelling of the word outline. And now I'm ready to submit this. Let's see how we do it. I saved that PDF to my desktop. I come over here, I click Start Assignment, and I come down here, and remember, I only stay here. I don't go anywhere else but here. And I can either drag the file here or upload the file. There it is right there, and I click Submit the Assignment. And that's all there is to it. This is a fun part of the process. Doesn't seem like fun, but it is.